Hi, Tim Cullings, Executive Director of Seattle Indies, here with Kim Swift.
Hey.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Kim Swift. I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years now. I'm currently heading up a consultancy company. Most recently, I was head of creative for Xbox Game Studios Publishing.
Cool. Yeah, that's quite a resume.
It's all right.
So, what made you interested in participating in this event tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super interested in so I've been told that like Portal's used for different educational curriculum, and I think it's super fascinating and wanted to come out and talk about how we as commercial game creators could use our games in new and interesting ways for educational purposes. And there were some really great panels too as well to listen, like being in more of a commercial game space and not really necessarily an educational one. It was really kind of neat to hear a different perspective.
Do you have any like stories that you've heard of people using games that you've worked on for educational purposes that were like unexpected or?
I mean, using Portal for educational purposes was definitely an unexpected thing for me in general. You know, usually when I think about, games and education, I think of things that are, I guess, more created from the ground up to be something really moddable, like say a Minecraft. And though, Portal 2, utilizing a source engine, like those are things that you can change and edit. It never occurred to me, like as a game designer, that's what it would be used for. So it's cool.
Yeah, no, there's platforms like Roblox that make it super easy for kids to hop in and just start making games. Have you like explored that at all, or just?
Me personally, no. I played around in like UEFN a little bit, but yeah, I haven't played around in Roblox at all.
Yeah. Have games taught you anything? Like, have you played any games that taught you something that you didn't expect or stuck with you, or?
I mean, every game I kind of learned something new and different. So, while I was giving my talk, I mentioned that as a game developer, it's hard to have fun playing games because our brain is just constantly going and trying to like learn and parse and pick apart a particular game to figure out how they did this, or like what's the psychology behind why I wanted to go and do this thing. And so really realistically, like every single game I learned something new, whether it's a technique that maybe I hadn't thought to use before, or hey, maybe there's a psychology that I hadn't thought of before. I don't know. I love games. I think there's so much to learn and grow, and particularly as an industry, we've been around for a while, but I think there's just so much more space for us to grow and learn as an industry.
Yeah, it's still probably one of the younger forms of, mass entertainment and media, so it's only 50 some odd years old at this point, so there's still a lot of room for growth and expansion and new ways for people to learn. What do you think like game devs or educators should take away from an event like this tonight?
I mean, really, I think my personal takeaway was that communication is super important. I think when you're designing for a specific audience and for a specific need, I think you have to really know who you're making the game for, right? And, there were a lot of things that I, in the commercial game development space, would have never really thought about in terms of the constraints that would be on games in the classroom of like, hey, they need to be short session lengths where you have to be able to reconvene really quickly if there's like fire drill. I'm like, oh, cool, yeah, I would have never, obviously, yeah, but it's something that I would have never really thought about, so it was cool to learn about.
Yeah, we all went to school, you just don't think about those scenarios anymore.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I was in school, and so thinking about oh yeah, I guess that's what it's like, and I think too as well. You know, school has changed over the years. Like, I mean, when I was in high school in the early 2000s, and so expectations, standards, all of that's so different now. So I think it was just, again, really interesting to see things from a different perspective.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's all also.
Sweet.
Cool.
Great chatting.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.